Already, Lifecoach's Bristleback right into the Treant. That's what you like to see.
And he doesn't kill it yet this turn, but Treant, as a green hero, doesn't have too much to avoid that damage. So next turn, Bristleback will be able to use this Barroom Brawler passive to get modified with +2 armor.
Yeah, Bristleback is just a hero killer in this. We're going to deploy the Hellbear Crippler. This is just going to put a little bit of early pressure. And let's check out these other lanes. So we even have Mercenary Exiles for Lifecoach on the right lane. But Dane has an axe. This is one of the strongest heroes in the game, and it is rare. So you don't see a lot of people pick it up in draft. And this is just going to eat this Treant. Look at this stat line, 7 to 11.
Yes, and on top of that, what is his signature card?
His signature card is Berserker's Call. Very powerful. You duel 3 units at once. They all deal their battle damage to the red hero you choose, but you're dealing damage to everything. So we can do that off of either Axe or Beastmaster. This is going to be a powerhouse play later on.
Absolutely. We see in this last lane, it's Sven versus Beastmaster here.
Yep. And you could see this Mercenary Exiles being dropped in front of this creep over here. This will kill it in 2 turns, but you could potentially consider saving it for a better deployment as well if you're Lifecoach. You're thinking about maybe possibly playing a little more passive for this lane.
That's right.
I think I would like to see it deployed here.
I think so too. With the 1 armor that the Mercenary Exiles has by default, it's preventing 1 damage from the 1 extra damage from the creep in front of it.
So it will be able to win this fight in 2 turns. So next turn deployment, we got green heroes on both sides, Farvan for Lifecoach and Chen for Dane. We should talk about this hero Chen. This is a very unique hero and artifact. Yeah, we have not seen it yet. He has the ability Holy Persuasion, very powerful, 4-turn cooldown. You get to gain control of an enemy creep. Super strong, and if Lifecoach is playing anything big, which of course he does have in the form of something like Ogre Conscript, Chen could steal that if he's not careful. Gotta watch out for that. And Chen's signature card as well is Hand of God, a hugely powerful card at 7 mana. You give everything damage immunity plus a full heal, so that's just great for this just huge board where everything's slamming each other.
Yep, and just a distinction from Dota, that's going to be healing all allies in the lane that he is casting it in.
Very true as well. So here's the Bristleback. He's got the Barroom Brawler ready to go, and this Treant is going to be falling prey to it. But Dane has the opportunity to drop a Roseleaf Druid in front of perhaps this creep over here on the left to at least just develop it for later.
And also prevent some damage onto Chen since that creep was targeting Chen at the beginning. But now that that Roseleaf is going to be drawing aggro from it.
Got Hotbid back here to keep us in check.
Yo, what I miss? What's going on?
This Bristle is going ham, but the juke from Dane is able to...
Oh, what Chen?
Yes.
Is my dad.
It is your dad.
My father.
Chen.
So the juke play on Dane, he still loses the Treant, but he does this so that Bristle doesn't kill it, to deny the Barroom Brawler passive. I really like this play, just because that armor on Bristle coming in early is really powerful.
That's true, and the Roseleafs, he does still have 2 more left, as that is the signature card coming from the Treant Protector.
Yep, so this Treant is, however, falling prey to this axe. We've got the Prowler Vanguard in here, which is just going to start absorbing damage. A very tanky creep, 3 armor between these two, but the Treant goes down and the passive with it.
That's that the White Knight card, just giving the extra armor to the neighboring creeps.
Bit of an unfortunate curve for Lifestone, this Beastmaster. He might have to use the Mercenary Exiles active to save it. Instead, just going to chump block with Rebel Instigator. So he's throwing this away to keep the Mercenary Exiles alive without having to use its active and spend his 9 gold. At this point, 10.
Yep. He's probably looking for some items to begin with, not necessarily going to dump that into the Mercenary Exiles to buff them.
Yep, and he's got a lot of stuff to keep his heroes alive now, which is going to be really important. Snipers deploying on Dane's side, and we'll have the headshot in 1 more turn as well.
So are both these guys 4-1? This is a pretty critical match.
It is.
Absolutely. Whoever loses this match is not out of the running for day 2. It's still technically possible, but the odds steeply drop. This is almost an elimination match. Tidehunter deploying mid. Keep in mind his Ravage ability, one of the most impactful actives in the game, stunning allied neighbors, stun being maybe the strongest status effect, blocking both attacks and spells.
Yep.
So I see Lifecoach is running a Farvan. Are there any basic heroes that are better than regular heroes? Or in your opinion, at least.
Certain regular heroes. Yes. Certain regular heroes are not really good, and every color has heroes that are a little bit below basic heroes. But basic heroes are typically a bit below average, I would say. But in the acceptable range.
I think it's situational. Maybe one that comes to mind is Lion, perhaps.
Yeah.
Lion is a black hero, but his signature card's not too great. And Debbie does at least provide the 3 damage.
And here's the cheating death drawn by Lifecoach. This is a
we about to watch some.
He had this card.
Let's go.
Yes.
Let's go.
Cheating death. He will have to play it on a lane with a green hero, but this is an incredibly powerful card. And unless Dane has a way to remove improvements, he does. He has Raise. If Dane draws it, he can actually counter cheating death with this.
I'm sure Lifecoach knows that, dude.
Yeah.
He's going to place it when there's no red hero.
You could get the drop on me?
Hip fire to gain initiative as well.
Yep. Combat training, unfortunately, doesn't do too much here. You could still use it on Bristle to just kind of set up a little bit of a proactive play. Might just proactively cloak first.
Perhaps better on Sven or Tidehunter there.
Yeah, you would probably want it on Sven more so than the Tidehunter, so there's not too much to do here. I do like it on Sven because then you can use this green mana mid with the Farvan. Ooh, using it on Bristle anyway.
Looks like Lifecoach wants to get some damage into this tower.
Yeah.
It does put it on a closer clock. If it remains the same in this current state, he'll be able to get the first tower.
He's choosing to play for kind of like the short-term value, which I really love here. I mean, the Sven is just the better target usually, but this 2 damage threatens this this clock for the tower in 2 turns, which is really crucial. Got the cheating death here, but nothing is dying yet, so there's no pressure.
Axe equips a Stonehall Pike, and that's a item that continues getting gains with every round that passes.
Yes.
It's basically going to get +1 attack after the combat phase, every combat phase. So starts off with 2, but going to be compounding, and it's going to make his Berserker's Call that much scarier.
Yeah, usually if you see Stonehall in a card's name, it means it's going to get stronger after the combat phase if it survives. So this axe is going to be scary, and keep in mind, when you combo that with Berserker's Call, which we'll have as soon as next turn at the 6-mana turn, you will have something that can duel and deal 10 damage to all of its allied neighbors, which is crazy. So a very passive right lane that neither player is really committing for.
Yep.
And we are hitting the ramp turns where Dane is like looking at a very good hand. The 2 Berserker's Calls, the Primal Roars, double Assassinates. It's kind of up to Lifecoach to close this game out, right? Right now, Lifecoach is kind of the aggressor.
He has double Assassinate, but he only has 1 black hero.
Yes.
So if he is able to kill that sniper, or, he can only cast 1 anyway.
Yes.
So
very crucial. But at the same time, the sniper has a hard time going down. Presumably, Dane will buy something like a Traveler's Cloak with his 5 gold. Can't see that yet. But either way, there's nothing that really stops it here on Lifecoach's hand. He needs to probably draw some more proactive plays here.
Yep, right now he only has 2 cards. Ogre
the train
Conscript
can
and
just
Cheating Death.
drop right in front of him, right?
Well, it potentially could on the 1 and 3. But still only works if Dane doesn't buy a health item.
Treant's not going to land in front of Sniper, so looks safer now. Let's see what Lifecoach ends up drawing.
Yep, Bronze Legionnaire. Not necessarily what you want. You want something heavier.
2 creeps.
Yep, that's not bad. Lifecoach has this left tower down. I mean, that's pretty much going to be happening. Dane might be able to stall it 1 more turn. Left tower is not the concern. The concern is you look at this rest of the board, Lifecoach needs another tower here, and he needs it sooner rather than later. If you look at Dane's hand, it's very scary.
Yep.
Especially like this Hand of God coming down on mid, something like next turn. Oof.
Gotta say, Dane's draft looks pretty decent.
Intense.
Pretty strong.
Very intense. Axe is like...
Splashing that 1 black hero for Assassinate.
Yeah. We were talking with Joel earlier, that Sniper is just one of the best splash heroes because, he's good on the round 3 deployment, and even though he's squishy, he does a decent job keeping himself alive just with, headshots.
So let's talk about Cheat Death. What does it do?
Yeah, let's go look
Cheat
at it.
Death just got played. There's no answer. So if this Farvan is on the lane, every unit on Lifecoach's side here has a 50% chance of just surviving at 1 health when it would otherwise die to any effect, including, auto kill effects. Yeah. This is an insanely powerful, my board is going to win against your board effect.
It's a very expensive improvement.
Yes.
Costs
5 mana.
5.
And it's unrevable since it's only 50%.
Yeah, you could also, if you remove the green hero somehow, like with Intimidate or whatever,
yes,
then it doesn't do anything.
Yeah, that makes it pretty scary for Sniper if he casts Assassinate here into the right lane to maybe kill off Farvin.
But even then, it's a 50-50 to even shut down the Cheating Death.
He might still survive.
Exactly. It's kind of a catch-22 trying to deal with this card, because the way to disable it is to kill the green hero, but Cheating Death protects the green hero.
Yep.
Yeah.
He does have Berserker's Call, and I believe Lifecoach was playing around that. He equipped the Traveler's Cloak onto Farvin, and now the 10 damage from Axe is not going to kill him.
Lifecoach very cognizant of what Axe represents. This card is very, very powerful, especially in Constructed Ladder.
I mean, cheat death, 50% of the time it works every time.
Yes. So the biggest question is, will Lifecoach be pushing mid or right? And the answer, I think, is he's probably going to have to push mid. This is the cheat death lane. You've got to kind of fight for this one, so we're going to go all in. Bronze Legionnaire. Ooh.
It's the arrow over. Kills off the creep.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah.
You do want this creep to die. So Dane has the opportunity to play Berserker's Call here. Keep in mind, Axe has 4 armor. His natural 2 plus the Treant Aura.
He takes nothing. Yeah.
So this Axe can Berserker's Call right now, deal 10 damage to this, deal 8 damage to this, kill this, and take no damage himself. And still have the second call next turn to wipe everything.
Gonna do it.
So keep in mind.
All right, here we go.
As you can see there, that X is not a red X like that creep one.
Exactly.
It's a white one. It's a question as to whether he will die in the combat phase.
Do you think he tries to save it with the cloak and heal, or do you think he lets it go into cheat death 50-50?
Well, the healing salve will actually keep it out of the range of necessitating cloak. So I think you drop the salve here. Don't take the risk, because this is the turn next turn where it's going to have Ravage. And this, therefore, this mid lane next turn, initiative is going to really matter. Because if Dane plays first, Berserker's Call potentially kills both of these, because this Stone Hall will buff Axe up to 11.
Well, don't you want to put the cloak on in case of Assassinate? Is that...
Potentially. At the same time, Assassinate does just a bit too much damage. And this has the chance to dodge it with Cheating Death anyway.
And the good thing about Ravage for Tidehunter is that there are 2 heroes in front of him as his neighbors, and so the Ravage is going to reliably stun those with a 50% chance on the other units in that lane.
I love this Mercenary Exiles active here, just keeping this card alive, putting out a little pressure on this lane. While neither player has committed for this lane, you might see the Augur Conscript. I love this. This kind of gives this lane some potential. So even if Dane can stall out mid, right is a push potential.
All those X's and none on your side feels good.
And he also drew the aggro away from Sven. Beastmaster was originally killing him. And now that he's placed the Ogre Conscript in front, he will be hurting that Beastmaster. But as you can see, Dane healed him up, so no longer going to die.
However, we see the weaken effect on the Loyal Beast there, targeting the Sven, reducing his attack permanently by 1.
Yep, so he's at 4 now, and his cleave's only doing 2.
And it is time for the 4 turn cooldown actives, namely Chen's Holy Persuasion, as well as Tidehunter's Ravage on the middle lane.
I never played Chen in Dota, but this is a lot easier. You just click a button.
No micro
Yeah,
required.
no micro needed.
Yep. 16 damage to the tower. Not much you can do.
You just let the
here.
sniper die here, right?
Let it go, right?
Yep, presumably.
Do we have some assassinate targets?
Yeah, there's pretty powerful assassinate targets here. If you want to try to 50-50 this Farvran, you can potentially try to disable Cheating Death. You don't have initiative, which means you are scared of this Ravage.
Or potentially,
you kill the Tide, right?
You
try to.
Yeah, you could kill the Tide. It might be better since you don't have initiative here anyway. Lifecoach very aware of what he's doing, taking the pass here.
Yeah.
Lifecoach is always going to
play
pass.
any of these cards.
Exactly. This Ravage coming down on the first play in this lane will stun the Axe and the Treant out of being able to play any spells.
Gonna steal a creep over. Puts that Chen active ability back on cooldown. Assassinate going onto the Bristle here.
Wait, he's gonna try and fight
he's
here.
Save or try to save this lane.
Interesting. I actually
doable.
I like this play. I think he needs to do this. Normally this would be pretty awkward, but you just can't fight for the mid. This Ravage is here. It's happening right now.
It doesn't hit any of the creeps.
Doesn't hit the creeps, but
creeps don't matter that much. They're only taking 1, doing 1.
Yep. So these heroes are locked out for a turn. At the same time, there's not a lot for Lifecoach to do here. You can develop the Ogre Corpse Tosser.
It, dude.
Yep. Not
it's not enough
a good
to
hand
kill it.
here. It's gonna put the viscous nasal goo onto the axe. That reduces Axe's armor by 2.
Yep.
So now he's at 11-2-7. And then also going to buff up Tide with the combat training to give him +2 attack.
So what this accomplishes at the very least is when Axe goes to do the Berserker's Call next turn, he will at least die by doing that.
That's true.
And their heroes might not die because of cheat death.
Exactly. Yeah, cheat death, very, very powerful. And Lifecoach has pressure right. This is kind of like Lifecoach's... Sven going left.
Interesting.
That,
so Primal Roar.
Good for Lifecoach?
It might be. It might
be good.
I mean, at this point, Lifecoach kind of needed to be able to fight for left. Lifecoach might be able to dip out of the right lane now and just push left and
mean, his right lane was still only at 33. Like, did he need to roar there? I don't know.
I'm not sure. It might have been a misplay.
Well, he doesn't know where the heroes are going to go. I don't want to...
Yeah, of course.
Soul Spring,
very powerful
card.
draw. This plus defensive bloom in 1 turn will give 3 different units 8 regen. Extremely powerful since Soul of Spring triggers on itself.
Yep, it looks like, though, this lane still doesn't have the lethal potential for the tower. You've got the Ogre Corpse Tower, but that Tosser, that only does 2 attack. So he's going to use Soul of Spring here. And the card itself actually already procs the effect.
Yes.
So if we look at that, everything's already getting that extra regen.
Yep. So you could see the defensive bloom here. There's not necessarily too much of a purpose for it. It's really between this and mid lane. And mid lane is kind of more what you're fighting for, because you only need to be able to punch through 3 here, which is kind of inevitable.
Yes.
Might see an assassinate by Dane. It needs to be able to clear this Farfran. He needs to 50-50 and take off this 2 health.
We gotta see it.
That might be what this comes to.
He does have 2 in hand.
It's gonna be funny. I can't wait. Please.
If he can snipe this Farfran, he disables the cheating death from being able to protect the Tidehunter, the Mercenary Exiles, and the Prowler. There's the Hand of God.
Okay.
Fighting for this lane still, even at 3 health.
Doesn't want to submit his entire game plan into a cheat death.
Potential.
So, cheat death, not just something that has an effect, it also changes your opponent's strategy. It puts the fear into them.
Yeah.
They don't want to risk it.
Spend 7 mana, do nothing.
And I love Lifecoach's pressure play, just dealing damage to this axe. So now this Berserker's Call could be a suicide. It might not even kill any of these 3 units.
You're gonna do it. Come on, you have to try this. You have 2 Berserker's Call. You have axe. Yeah.
It kills the Farfran.
Okay.
Tide is alive.
Cheating death disabled, at least, for the time being. Cheating death is out of commission for effectively 2 turns, unless Lifecoaching can figure out a way to put Treant mid. That's a big deal.
I'll bring death to the
I'd love to see a Vul Martyr here. This is kind of the dream scenario for Vul Martyr. It's usually kind of hard to have this creep die, but under these circumstances, you can kind of like, ooh, he's passing for initiative instead of playing it.
Oh, no Vul here.
So he really wants the initiative on right lane for the assassinate potentially from Sniper. I love this play. Killing the Treant and denying both of its 2 powerful auras.
Yep, and it's probably not that important at this point anyways for
Beastmaster dies to a
Dane
creep.
Kill,
feels bad.
Tide.
Yeah.
So we got Bristle coming in.
I gotta say, I love the position Dane's in right now. He's actually managed to defend this left lane very well.
Yep.
He assassinate off of initiative, killing Treant immediately, and then he's even got the headshot to kill the Sven. The Traveler's Cloak will not get the Sven out of headshot range.
Yeah, and this results in Lifecoach even thinking of putting that Bristle into the first lane just to get that pesky amount of damage left over.
Managing to defend this 3 health tower.
Yep.
He's got a TP though, right?
Is true.
Does have a TP. Dane's also picked up a golden ticket.
I think the, if you know your guys, one of them's gonna die, you can at least TP out the other one, right?
Yep.
One of the awkward things here is Dane is locked out of his red cards for 2 more turns, or 1 more full turn at least, because these red heroes are not
saving
deploying.
that Vul Martyr comes in handy, huh?
Oh, absolutely. Very, very handy, especially off the initiative, deciding to play for this assassinate.
Yes.
Let's see it.
A lot of options for this intimidation, actually.
You gotta start with this assassinate for sure.
Bye-bye.
Oh,
Whoa!
does the headshot over to Sven.
Headshots, playing around red options here. But still the Bristle can cast. Intimidation could be kind of scary. It could punish the headshot before the Assassinate here.
Yep. It's whether Lifecoach knows he needs to do this, I guess, is the biggest question.
Oh.
Passes for initiative.
Passes.
Wants to see what happens.
The one thing about Assassination is you are not defending
What's
this
it gonna
tower.
be? Poaching knife.
knife.
Whatever.
It's a bit of a slow item that just increases your gold gain. Not really what you want.
Does
here.
kill the creep.
Yes.
If he puts it on the sniper, it does enough damage to
go through the armor.
go through the armor.
If you do want to defend this tower, you will need to play a Disciple in front of the Bristleback.
Or the Martyr, right?
Or the Martyr.
Yeah.
But he's still floating on the Assassination. It looks like he's saving it. Even though he has got
Do you think Lifecoach uses Intimidation here?
He has the opportunity here. I do think so.
Mm-hmm.
Kill
It's
the
pretty.
tower.
You can use it on the Sniper as well.
You could use it on the Sniper and then TP out, right? That's...
Yes.
Yep. The creeps would then push for lethal.
But the thing is, he doesn't know that there are no green creeps left in his hand.
Well, there is. There's actually Roseleaf Rejuvenator. So if
that's right,
he's intimidating Sniper, it goes right. The Roseleaf will come in. It will block and heal for 7. This tower is staying alive.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Roseleaf will have to come out to the right
And
of Chen.
that Vool Martyr, too, is going to be buffing up the creeps as it dies.
And this tower is never
Not
dying.
great.
From
This
3
is
to
bad
10.
for our boy Lifecoach.
This is going to be a long game, though. Lifecoach still has Farvan
he's-
coming back mid to enable Cheating Death next turn.
Lifecoach very healthy on every tower, so
Yep. All
it's
in
going
the
to take a
30s.
while.
Both players playing the defensive game very well here.
I think this game might actually go long enough that Dane just runs out of his power cards. He's used 2 calls. He's going to eventually use those Assassinates. It's whether he can actually kill Lifecoach, even using those spells, right?
I mean, the Sniper right now is kind of in his dream location. His headshot's on cooldown anyway, and he can just cast Assassinate safely from this empty lane.
We might see a double Ravage.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Very rare to see
yeah.
that cooldown happen twice.
Although, not much going on in that lane right now.
Assassinate on Bristle. There
Yep.
it is. Bristle going down.
So, now Lifecoach doesn't have access to any red cards should he... Well, sorry. He does have the Tide in the mid lane.
Yep, and Lifecoach just run out of his hand. He's going to need to rely on his top decks that he can play here.
Yep.
But he has Dane on the defensive. I mean, Dane's left tower is at 8. His mid is at 12. And, oh, man, a Berserker's Call would clean up this left lane.
Do you like Farvan still going mid?
Yes. Enabling the cheating
Enabling
death
the cheating death.
very important.
Mm-hmm.
Because this lane is still securable.
How is Lifecoach going to kill the left lane? He has to kill 2 lanes to win.
Mm-hmm.
He probably doesn't have enough time to 80 the middle lane. So where is he going to get a second tower?
It's got to be off the back of this double deploy. He's
Yeah.
probably not going to do it this turn, but the Sven and the Bristle both going left. Ooh.
So Farvan going
changing
to
it
the
up.
left.
Yeah. He's playing
But
for the...
he's thinking
about
it.
it.
He's
He's
thinking
looking
about
at it. Mainly because I'm looking at that mid tower, and it seems like 2 creeps coming in. It's going to push.
This is a pure guessing game. If he knew Dane was committing nothing, he calls it.
Yeah.
He knows Dane's not defending that mid tower, and he can see that. So he is just basically mind gaming him, putting the Farvan left. I actually love this.
All right. A lot of options for Dane, though. He's got
He's
the
got a lot of cards.
Divine Intervention, right?
Yes, and this is a scary Berserker's Call as well, dealing 12 damage to Tree, Farvan, and to this creep.
And look at Lifecoach's hand. He really wants some card draw right now, but he only has 2 red cards, which are
Flying
only going to
around
be
the Berserker's
relevant
Call again.
in the mid lane.
Pulls it out of Berserker's Call range.
Primal Roar on
Yeah.
the side of
Roar.
Dane. These green heroes are
It's like,
out of
get
here.
out of my first lane. Devoted so many resources to protecting it.
This 8 health tower is still not dying.
Yeah, now it also looks extremely unattractive to even when you're placing a Sven and Bristle in here. It doesn't look like they're going to break through even if you put them there.
So Lifecoach has this mid tower, but
Where did Farvan go? Into the last lane.
yes. The punch
feel
there
like
is
this
just
is
not
a-
there. I think you're right. I think Lifecoach just won't be able to take left.
Do you feel this is a TP the Tide out?
I feel like that's the case.
I think so. I mean,
Yeah.
Ravage is going to be up next turn. And you've got this tower without it.
Yeah, I mean, this tower's going to die almost regardless of whether the Tide ravages or whatever. So I feel like you got to TP him out.
Yep.
And now he can deploy 3 with a Ravage coming in, right?
Yes.
And now Dane has to think about if he wants to cast any of his spells in that last lane, because initiative will be going to Lifecoach should he choose to deploy the Tidehunter in the first lane.
He TPs both out.
I don't want to be here. This is going to push.
4 heroes coming in, okay.
And getting the lethal on the Ogre Corpse Toss.
Yo, so can I just say, there is a real option. He could place all 4 heroes mid.
Oh, really?
Right?
I think you got to fight for left. You think so?
What are those?
Is it possible
what is
for
the
him to do
attack
80?
for everyone at?
Like, what does he have in his deck? Is it possible for him to do 80 to the tower?
He definitely could do 80, but not in one
hit that
turn.
F2. Mash that F2.
It's probably 2 turns. It's got some God Strength.
It's got to be more important to defend left.
I think he's probably going to end up splitting his heroes. At least he kills off the sniper over here.
Dude, if these creeps don't deploy, if none of them go mid, can he do it in 1 turn?
This is a really crucial deployment. I actually like quad deploy right. Specifically, look at left. I mean, it's the tower that has 8, but the axe is there.
Well,
the
two
treant
creeps.
is there,
There's 2 creeps, right?
and the holy persuasion.
Yeah.
Thinking about
He
left.
He's doing it.
Playing into the holy persuasion and the axe.
So Dane does have initiative.
Yeah, but that Tide is not dying.
That's true.
The only thing he can do is if he has hand and he has divine.
That Tide is exactly where it wants to be. The Ravage is going to stun both of them.
Yeah, but he's going to be able to cast his...
Berserker's Call is going to kill...
No, he's going to cast Hand of God, right away.
Yeah, he has to Hand of God
true.
first.
Yeah, this is a...
Hand of God, and then Ravage comes in.
So Hand of God heals all your heroes and makes them, or all your units and makes them invincible.
Yeah. Actually, do you even Ravage if he Hand of Gods?
Probably not in this
yeah,
case.
because he'll only have 4 effective mana left.
You can also take initiative back with Kraken Shell, so...
You have to rely on a very good Ravage next turn. Luckily for Lifecoach, this Tidehunter is not dying. Not yet, anyway.
Divine Intervention.
Will only grow.
Berserker's Call on top of that is extremely scary.
He could consider equipping a Furline Mantle onto Sven right now to save him from a Berserker's Call.
Traveler's Cloak as well. This is actually really crucial item targeting because you need to save your Tidehunter from the combination of Call and this tree's attack. And you want to save the Sven from the Call as well. Fur Mantle on the Sven for +8 health. If you're Lifecoach, you know that the second Call is there. He's been playing around it all game perfectly. But the Call will still have to drop. You've got to threaten. You've got to take this Tidehunter down.
It also threatens the tree, right?
Yes.
Ooh. Or Conscript comes down.
Okay, guess not.
Chen also has the ability to take a creep. Or the Roseleaf Wall, I suppose. But he's going to draw a card first.
Oh, Thunderhide Pack. Okay.
Chen's saving his ability here.
I guess he's thinking like maybe he puts down a Thunderhide Pack and then he'll steal whatever Lifecoach uses to block, maybe.
At the same time, initiative is in the hands of Lifecoach. We have the double deploy on Dane. These 2 heroes, Chen and Axe, are going to get stunned right off, so it comes down to Dane's ability.
You see 9 heroes in 1 lane or some crazy...
Yeah, you know what? I would have been very interested to see what would have been the case with 4 heroes in this lane. 33 health. Looking pretty grim. I suppose it is a lost lane for Lifecoach with him only at 9 health for his tower.
It's going to come down to this Ravage. If Dane deploys double left, this Ravage has a 50% chance of stunning either the tree or the sniper or both.
And Lifecoach does have initiative.
Sniper going right, tree going left. Dane needs to rely on this tree not getting stunned.
All right, here it is.
But Lifecoach is still going to need to get a draw to be able to punch through even after the Ravage stun. He needs something that can kill something so that he can deal 8 to tower.
Spraying the trap.
That's a good draw.
That's
Great
good.
card.
It's not going to do enough on this lane, though. There's
Gonna go
Ravage.
ahead and Ravage.
Doesn't hit it. Didn't hit
Does
it.
not hit the tree. So we still have green plays on Dane. We've got the Hand of God. We've got the Thunderhide Pack.
Thunderhide.
Yeah, pushing in for that damage in the first lane. That's going to be pretty scary.
Holy Persuasion is locked out here. And there's the Hand of God.
Right.
Just putting up this iron wall here. This 8 damage is just not going to be had. So if you're Lifecoach, where do you spring the trap? Do you just start playing for right now?
I still think he should have 4-hero mid try 80.
I mean, this 80 might still happen. This lane is still inevitable. The Stonehall Elite is actually growing off this creep. These creeps might just take mid on their own while both players are just defending left and right.
Yeah, do you even spring the trap here?
I think spring the trap might be necessary, right? But this lane might also be indefensible. This is a really tricky spring the trap.
Yeah, especially with you don't want that in the first lane with Chen being able to take one. He's gonna put the Rose Leaf. Maybe this is a bait. Please take this.
Okay.
Got the Kraken Shell to take back initiative.
Mm-hmm.
And you need to hope you draw into something to do with the initiative.
What does he have that you can draw into?
Big initiative plays here. You have nothing
Divine
really
Intervention
major.
is pretty clutch.
Keeps your stuff alive, but if you're Lifecoach, you might need more than that. I mean, maybe
Yeah,
Lifecoach's win condition is just
He doesn't know
attrition.
that he has another Hand of God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A gift from the deep.
The problem here is that the instant that Axe becomes unstunned, he's going to be able to roar.
Yes.
And it's going to be a problem.
This lane's still not dying yet for Lifecoach, but he's
There it
gonna.
goes. We've got Assassinate, or we've got the pass for initiative on Dane.
Mm-hmm.
He can assassinate something like the Bristle, but initiative may be more important. He
This
doesn't
is,
know what Lifecoach's hand is.
This is a rough situation for Lifecoach.
Yeah.
I think he's 14 seconds left.
Yeah.
Oh,
Both
Not
players
a lot
at
of
the end of the
options.
ropes, literally.
Yeah.
No one is beyond my reach.
Assassinate goes out to the
Taking out the
Bristle.
Bristle. This just gives him pure push. And you can see the power of Hand of God here, just like keeping this huge wall of stats alive.
That's my dad,
and
you know.
healthy.
Just amazing spell late game.
And the gank also coming out.
It's just going to clean up the Centaur.
Mm-hmm.
The double purpose of
So you need some kind of draw if you're Lifecoach here, but his deck it's very proactive. It's not really going to be able to retake a board. It doesn't have like board clear spells or anything like that. He has the initiative. What could he draw here? Because he needs to be able to just, at this point, just keep defending until his mid lane takes it. That's what he
right,
has
yeah.
to do. He has no punch through. This Chen's active is going to be very scary. It will steal this 4/8 Centaur, putting out extra pressure. Now it's up to Dane to end this
all
game
right,
on
2
the clock.
creeps. That's fine. 2 creeps is good.
Yep, especially with that Thunderhide
The
pack
Thunderhide's coming down.
potentially coming down.
But it's if he waits him out. Like if he waits for Lifecoach to use his mana, then he plays his Thunderhide. Then Lifecoach is really in trouble.
Ready to fight.
Training on this fan.
Okay.
Third Hand of God.
Another Hand of God. So still no Thunderhide this turn.
We still have Berserker's Call on this axe. If he wants to. Shank the Chen active. Berserker's Call on this axe is scary. It is damage immune right now. It will just clear off 2 heroes immediately and deal 12 to this Fen. Bellowing the Rose Leaf, pushing extra damage.
No thanks.
Goes into probably the least favorable lane for Lifecoach.
I have a question.
For the glory of
If he
Stonehall.
stole the Rose Leaf, or sorry, the
By
Druid,
helping myself,
couldn't he
I'm
have roared?
helping all of us. Your
If he
loyal
stole the
dear.
Rose Leaf.
Yeah, if he stole like the creep that gives you a
Yeah,
mana,
Yes.
he would have
couldn't
had one more mana, yes.
That might have been enough to actually kill him.
It might have been. This is really tough for Lifecoach. I mean, he
Yeah.
can take mid in
Ooh.
2
Oh.
turns.
Jungle
Blink
safe.
Keeps
dagger.
getting worse, and it's got the CD with the boar. Yikes.
Yeah, this looks pretty tough for Lifecoach. I don't think there's anything in his deck that he could draw.
Have you ever seen
salvage
someone
it.
lose a lane harder with all 5 of his heroes in the lane?
3 divine interventions, man. And what was the other one too? Oh, sorry. 1 divine interventions, 3 healing Hand of Gods.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just the wall.
An insane defense by Dane.
It's a really good
protecting a 3
gank
health
too.
tower.
Kills
Yeah.
the sniper, kills something else. So the sniper can redeploy if it even goes another turn.
Yeah, I have a feeling we might be looking at the last one here in the first lane. Bristle has to go there to be an extra body to potentially defend against it, but 6 damage is all that's needed.
Yeah, bad arrows for Lifecoach. This looks like
it's
GG.
it. There's just no draw here that bails him out of this, and even so, he needs to buy 2 turns. Divine Intervention would have been good a few turns ago.
Yeah.
Okay. Tough one. Is Lifecoach a let you press the button guy, or is he he's a concede guy. He's a concede guy.
So Lifecoach is going to drop a game against Dane.